Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is my second video on solving inequalities, and we're now going to include a little bit of graphing as well on a number line. So let's get started. So hopefully you've already written down this equation, or sorry, inequality, because there is a less than, not an equals. And how are we going to remove or solve for x with a minus 5 there? Well, isn't the inverse of minus 5 plus 5? So let's do a plus 5 to both sides of the inequality. What do we have left? 4x less than, because all of this after all went to 0. 7 plus 5 is 12. How do we solve when there's a multiply? 4 times x. Well, we divide by 4. Divide 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1x. And 12 divided by 4 is 3. So here's our solution. X is all numbers less than 3. Well, what does that mean? Well, if we made a number line, let's put 0 here. 1, 2, 3 there. What would less than 3 mean? Well, we know we start at 3, but is it equal to 3? Less than 3 means it's less than, not equal to, right? So I'm putting the circle there to represent where I start from. But any number to the left is less than 3, correct? That would include numbers like 2. Isn't 2 less than 3? Isn't 1 less than 3? Isn't negative 1 less than 3? All those numbers to the left here are less than 3. So that's why we point the arrow to the left. So please pause my video and copy this down. Okay, here's a second problem, a little bit different. This time we have a plus 5 here. Well, how about if we do a negative 5 and a negative 5? And I'm left with x over 3 greater than or equal to, that of course goes to 0 again, and 7 minus 5 is 2. Critical moment. Does everybody understand that that right there, that 3 is dividing x, right? How do we get rid of a divide? Well, don't we times to get rid of a divide? So we're going to multiply both sides by 3. Let's see what happens. 3 divided by 3 is 1x greater than or equal to, and 2 times 3, of course, is 6. So this time we have all numbers greater than or equal to 6. Well, what does that mean? Well, if we had a number line again, we have to start over here at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, what are numbers greater than or equal to 6? Well, first of all, I'm going to put a dot at 6 because it could equal 6, right? That's what this equal to there means. And what does greater than mean? That means it's to the right. In other words, numbers like 7 or 8 or 9 are greater than 6, right? So that's why the arrow goes to the right. So pause the video and take notes one more time. Okay, so here's my last example problem. It again looks a little different than the other two. Let's see how we can do this one. Well, the first key thing is, see that 3 right there? Does everybody understand that 3 is positive? The minus right here goes with this 2. Okay? The minus goes with the 2. The 3 is positive. So why is that important? Because to get rid of that 3, I'm going to minus 3, correct? I'm going to do a minus 3, minus 3. Let's see what we end up with. 11 minus 3 is 8. Less than. 3 minus 3 is 0. What is left over here is negative 2x. Now what do we do? Well, hopefully we know that this is negative 2 times x. And what is the inverse of negative 2 times x? Well, the times part, the inverse is to do a divide negative 2. Divide by negative 2. Okay, let's see what we have now. 8 divided by negative 2 over here is, of course, negative 4, less than, and the negative cancels out. The 2 divided by 2 is 1, and we're left with x. So here's our answer. Okay, but wait a minute. Isn't that answer backwards? Of course it is. So what are we going to do is we're going to flip x and negative 4 around. And because we flipped them, this less than right here has to switch to greater than, correct? So there's our more improved, better answer. So what does x greater than negative 4 mean again? Well, if I had a number line, and I'll start at 0 on the right side this time, right? Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4 is there. Well, greater than means what? Is it equal to? No, so we're going to put an open circle, right? Notice again I put an open circle there. Let me just erase and start over. There we go. I'm putting an open circle there at negative 4, because negative 4 is not equal to x, but x is going to be greater than negative 4, so we need a starting point. So we know it starts at negative 4, and of course greater than, of course, means to the right. Less than would mean to the left. Again, think about it. Isn't negative 3 greater than 4? Negative 2? Heck, even 0 and 1 are greater than 4, right? That's why we went to the right. Any number to the right of negative 4 is greater than 4, right? And so that ends our second video on inequalities.